Well, they do now though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. With the time.
And don't forget those ordinances.
I thought I gave it to you.
No, you didn't, they're in there.
They
I
put
guess
a,
the old, the one that Lori did, or the one from last
pretty
month.
picture. Frigidaire, was it? No, it wasn't a Frigidaire.
Armstrong?
No, it was something different. Cause I was surprised they even made them.
Graves did it, wasn't
Graves did it.
Probably, Graves sells it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was, I don't know. I just looked at it, I said, I didn't know they did full extract.
What are you talking about, Frank? Who's that? The one house
I
we
know.
used to-
We use Duquesne and it's the same
And
like
he kept
Goodman, I
telling
mean,
me,
they're all from the same
I don't
spot.
wanna have these done, don't wanna
Duquesne
have
just
these
has a
done,
little
and
better support.
I said, hey, once you get through the prep, it's a piece of cake.
Yeah, it's hard for us to sway you.
Yeah, we did
Wasn't
one
even
place,
him,
but
honey.
Maytag,
They started
which I'd never
farming in the
had worked
middle
with,
of their
but that thing's been a great firm.
Well, they had him under. He started farming.
Sandy, how are you?
Good. He had seen all
Oh,
those,
geez.
they didn't even clean him.
That good or bad?
And he was
Oh,
blue.
very good.
when he came to that
Can't be that bad then.
And they had him out of there for 15
Me,
minutes.
so.
Barely.
Me is probably
I
one.
didn't know.
Was it bad?
No, I the only one bill I ever get paid.
Yeah,
Don't you
that's
do auto
something
back?
Debbie Shadow's done.
Come on,
Oh,
Sandy,
I've been
auto
pushing
pay?
for that
Check
for
it
20
in.
years.
Then they, when they.
I have to
50
physically come
minutes,
here, that's why.
That's
always
why.
like, yeah. I drive by here all the time, I'm like, oh, I should take the water bill out
Half an
there.
I
hour,
do it meeting
45 minutes.
that's when I
Yeah?
I
I don't make it
You're not
happen.
supposed to do that, you're supposed to get up to your.
I forgot all about it. You don't cowboy.
Okay.
Dennis probably liked the fact that he doesn't have to come in
He doesn't even have to do any
He ain't got a lot of time. He don't have a kid, does he?
No, actually, he's busier now, I think, in the fire department than he was before. I think.
Okay, this meeting will come to order, and we'll have the roll call. Sandy?
Here.
Mike?
Here.
Lori? Here. Teresa? Here. Okay, we'll go on to the minutes of last meeting.
Payoff for the sewer loan is $3,085. Teresa made a motion to pay off loan. Lori second, all in favor. Janet, following through with South Street, dogs on Campbell Street, dog ordinance is being addressed. A complaint about generator running all night on Depot Street, dogs barking all night. Lionel said the only time it barks is when the neighbor's dog gets out. Lionel asked about getting rid of the sidewalk in front of his house. Nobody uses it. Teresa made a motion to let him. Lori second, all in favor. He needs to get a torch to burn the railroad tracks. Need to get permission from the railroad. Painting isn't done in the back. Need to cut trees down at the park and along Keenan. Johnny will be on vacation the week of April 14th. Ben Barker from Auburn talked about the community crossing grant. It's a 25-75 match. Teresa said we have a new year. We would like to sit down with John about what needs done. The electric is done. Mike is getting quotes on bathroom. Mike asked about getting a trailer. We'll check on price. UB Church wants to do a town yard sale right before town cleanup. Mike made a motion to have it. Lori second, all in favor. Teresa asked about getting the land over there surveyed and appraised. Sandy will ask Mike T. Had 2 complaints about someone driving in someone's yard and parking in alleys. Meeting adjourned.
Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Stand approved as read. Okay, fire department.
Last month we had 15 runs. We had exactly 15 runs. We had 4 in town, 7 in Richland, 5 in Fairfield, and 1 assist Garrett. So we're up around, I think it's 49 runs so far this year.
49, okay.
That's what our regular is, but there's a couple in there that are electric.
Okay, you have anything else for the fire department?
No.
Nothing?
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So the storm that came through and blew over the park stuff that you guys have in the back, why can't we claim that on insurance damage?
Don't know if it's insured, is it?
it's sitting on town property, so, or town-owned property, and the lot and everything's insured, so I'm not sure why we couldn't. Do you guys?
I don't know, do you?
I haven't even went out and assessed the
I haven't
damage.
either.
I know the one piece that was blown over, I believe was in the pile of things that was not being used, cause it's not all being utilized. Cause we just don't have the ability or place to put it on. I think that the taller little like thing, I think that got blown over, we weren't using. But honestly, that's not really my project, so I don't know. It's possible. Depends
Well, if
on
there
the-
isn't any damage done, we won't worry about it, you know.
Yeah,
I'll talk to Mike Tillis and see
What he says?
what he says. He's kind of overseen most of that up to this point, but
I'm going up there afterwards, I'll look and see if it's even damaged.
Okay, all
Oh,
right.
was it the blue?
Some of that playground equipment that got set over there at the
Oh.
fire department.
Oh,
So, okay. We'll go on to water and sewer.
Alrighty, ma'am. So I did look in our shop the other day, and our pond fountain, your guys' pond fountain is still sitting in there. We haven't done anything with it yet, but, you guys still wanna get that put back in, right? And redo the wiring with Liquid-Tite to keep it protected a little bit?
I believe we did agree on that, didn't we?
You did,
Do
but
that?
we just never,
Yeah.
we were gonna do it this winter, and
Okay,
then the pond froze, and it kinda got pushed to the bottom of the list, and now it's shoved underneath the shop table, and we need to pull it out and put it back, but I just wanna double check before we did that, but I assumed you wanted it back in there.
Yeah.
And then, a couple other things that I wanted to bring up, one is, I had asked Sandy about maybe doing another load of slag at the wastewater plant. I don't know if that'd be okay to do or not. And this would go around the second, manhole, casing that's up there, because we did the one where the pump set, which works great. I think Mike's seen it.
that turned out great where you did the first one.
Yeah, we need to do the next one. There's a pump in that, manhole. It's for the master meter that measures the water that goes into the lagoon. But, I mean, it keeps it out, but it's a funnel. So any groundwater, when it rains, it just goes right into that manhole. It's not watertight, and that slag just keeps everything away. One other load would do
okay.
a
I'll
really
make
good
a
job down
motion that we get him another load of slag.
Second that.
Okay. Mike
Okay.
I can,
made the motion and Lori seconded it.
All in favor?
I'll call,
All in favor? Aye.
I,
I was saying, you ordered that last time.
yeah,
right?
that,
Okay.
everything worked out, where, you just tell me where you want this one dumped.
Same spot, yep, that'll work.
Oh,
What-
same,
Yep, we'll just use the as long as we can use the tractor, we'll just spread it out down there. I mean, he can
Okay.
go a little bit further to the south, but it's not a big enough area to worry about, so.
okay, same size load and everything?
Yep, I think he brought in like 22 ton,
Yeah,
that'd be perfect,
alright,
so. And then just, couple update deals is, we did clean the lift stations this month, so those are all cleaned and they're washed down. I did go down there and look at the washout, by Brandon Tavis's.
Yes.
So I've chewed on that a couple times. I know we were texting about the diffuser. That one I think will work. I asked Sandy about maybe just building, we might just build one. It might work better, because the problem with that over there where they're at is where that washes out, that is where the water naturally goes. So we need to actually talk to the guy across the street south of Ron. And he doesn't care if we flush it in his yard, which is where we've been flushing it, just with the 45 on the hydrant. But it does eventually get down there, but I think if we take a hose over, diffuse the end of it and put it in his yard, I don't think it'll make it back to the road. We usually only have to flush it for about 3 to 4 minutes, and that gets the debris and the brown water out. But I think we can build one that will be more effective than the one I had text you, and I think it'll be less money too.
Okay.
So as long as there's no objection to that, we'd probably try that, and then we'll just use hydrant hoses when we need to flush it.
Okay, so you'll get on that for too long?
Yeah, and I'll just flush at Campbell until we do that.
Okay,
Cause we can flush at Campbell, but she will get dirty water eventually. And Ron complains sometimes, or I don't know if he does or whoever, somebody else is living there now or living with him,
It's his son.
his son. But the Campbell one takes care of most of that too. So, cause really the only person off of that line there is Brandy and Tavis. That line comes up, ends at 6, and the only service line is theirs. That's fed off of it. Everybody else is back in the alley. But I would like to just do a different style of diffuser, unless you guys have something that goes on the end of it, you know, one of the 2.5 inch hoses that would stop it from.
I know Auburn, they got like a thing that goes in a receiver ditch.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
all, and that's what they use, they just run a fire hose over to it.
We just can't run it in the road at all, cause if it goes in the road, it does all go, I stopped and looked at it tonight, which we can just fill that in, it'll take not even a bucket of, you know, gravel or, you know, some type of.
Where that trench is, you
Yeah,
mean there?
it's not that bad.
Okay.
And it's right by the power pole. But all that water, if you flush it all on the road, it goes right there. Even when we do flush it across the street, once it fills up this culvert, it just runs across the street. So it's less than what it is if we just go right in our yard, but it does need to be flushed though, so, you know, there's that one and the one behind Albright's, that will be affected with the diffuser as well. And when we flush hydrants, we'll use it in other locations other
Okay.
than just that.
Okay.
So it'll
Sounds
get its
good.
use.
Okay.
But I'll go down there as long as, is it cool to use the John Deere tractor header? With a
Yeah,
bucket?
you've used it before, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No. But we'll just take a bucket of dirt down there. We got dirt down at the pond, or
Okay.
we use some of that slag, cause it is kinda by the road, so we'll fill it in with something.
You take
Okay.
a scoop out of my pile, can you?
Yeah, you do have a lot over there, don't you?
I got
Yeah,
that
you
over
do.
there. If you wanna, you just go take it.
I was saying it only needs like a bucket, half probably bucket, not much.
Are you gonna end up using?
I'm gonna end up someday when I finish that landscaping
Alright.
project, having leftover
Well,
dirt.
if you do have any left over, would you let me
I
know?
will,
And,
you're my first call.
okay, thank you.
Well, that'd be real quick and easy place to get it, won't it?
I know, yeah, right on the way,
Right,
so.
yeah.
Just scoop it up and I'll dump a load in his pool too real quick, so.
That'll work.
You felt to clean that out, right? The only other thing I wanted to bring up was, I had mentioned this, I think a few months ago, just something to chew on, and even if John does it as well, I know he doesn't get a ton of time, but, you know, we've got a lot of valves around town. We did the meter pit valves, which we should stay on those every year or two as well, servicing them. But like the main valves and the hydrant auxiliary valves, a lot of those have not been touched in many, many years. So it's just something to think about if we just did a small amount per month, like if you guys had if we ended up doing it, if you had an hour increment, you wanna say like, hey, only 4 hours a month, you know, just go through it, we'll just start at one end of town and just keep going. Because I think some of them are getting to the point where they are not going to be accessible if we need them. I know when I did the hydrant repair, they got hit down there on Campbell and whatever, Walnut, I think. I mean, that valve was okay, but I had to clean it out and it was pretty stiff, cause it hadn't been turned in,
Right.
you know, 30 years, probably.
Yeah.
So just something that, you know, I know like we're doing that for Walketville and for Orland, like Orland does 8 hours a month, or no, 16, Walketville does 8, you know. They can't spend a lot, but we just do small little chunks. So, just something I wanted to bring up, you know, that we might be thinking about doing at some point in time.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
So, okay, well, we'll talk about that and just, since it's not, it needs to be done like right at this minute.
Oh yeah, those valves haven't been touched in a,
Long time.
yeah, very long time, so.
So,
We've gotten on a couple of the mainline valves and it's just been something I've been keeping on my list to just say, well, maybe we ought to bring it up, you know. Like maybe when Navarre reads meters, he just spends another 4 hours and turns valves for 4 hours, you know.
well, would that come out of the sewer or water?
Out of water.
Well, we could probably go ahead and have them start that. Do you wanna do it on an hourly, so many hours a month, or?
That probably would work best, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Better than nothing, yeah, I mean, even if it was just limited, cause usually the meters take about 3-4 hours just. So if he was doing the meters, we'd just leave him here all day and just say, just when you're done, we'll start at, Depot Street and just work our way out.
I say give him 5
Yeah.
hours a month and
Get them turned.
At least it'll get you something, I
Yeah,
mean, it'll
right.
take a while, cause a lot of them need to be dug up, and I think some are under asphalt and stuff like that, but,
Okay.
just,
Okay, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and, let them start getting those valves turned on the hydrants.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? It's been, motion been made and passed.
What does a typical hydrant service, what does that consist of?
the auxiliary valve, is that what you were talking about, Mike, for the,
I thought you said you were gonna service the hydrants also.
Well, no, we do that every year,
Okay.
when we do the hydrant flushing. This would be the valve in front of the hydrant.
Just-
that shuts off the
Yeah.
actual hydrant, yeah. But I know, like I said, when I did that one down there, it was, I mean, it still turned, it just, didn't turn real well. It did after I opened it and shut it a few times.
So what does that service consist of?
Oh, on the hydrants?
No, on the valve you're talking about.
On the auxiliary valves, so those would be the ones below ground, 5
Yeah.
feet. Basically, once we get the box, the lid found, some of the main valves, I know have been asphalted over, or like in the alleyways, slagged over, so some might need riser rings put on them to get them back up to level. But basically, we open them, clean them out, get all the debris out of the bottom, just vac them out. And then we use like a hydrant oil, we just put down there on top of the valve head. And then it's usually just an on and off 2-3 times till it frees up, and then you open it all the way up and turn it about a half a turn down to leave it off of the stress on the packing, and that's pretty much about
Have
it.
we ever serviced those valves since you've been here?
No, even when we did the new meters, that was even a lot of the meter pits that was the only time those had been serviced as well. So those had all been done when we changed the meters, except for the one at that church growth place with the house. We're gonna dig that up, we gotta put a resetter on that, and then, yeah, the mains I don't think have ever been done, or the hydrant valves.
I wanna ask you a question about the meter pits.
Yeah,
I had a water line busted in my basement, you know about that.
yeah,
I eventually had Toby come over, Toby Jordan, and work on, not that, but he put me a new shut-off valve for the whole house. When he opened the pit to shut the water off, it was clear full of water.
yeah,
He had to suck it out.
yeah.
So he did the repair, and by the time he did the repair and went back out, it was full again.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Some of them around here, I mean, we've probably got, just off the top of my head, probably about 10 of them that are like that, but we have sucked them out. Well, actually, one was around the corner from you when they were doing the sidewalk down there, when Brad was. We shut them off, we turned it back on to see if they depressurized, and there was no meter movement, and there was no evidence of a leak on the other side. So we ruled it out as groundwater. I think the one option we gave with the one down there at Christian's, wasn't that your boy's house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
his does the same thing.
Yep, and I think the one option we gave down there is we dig it up on the other side of the road, shut it off, pressure test the line under the road, but we put a sounder on it, and usually you can hear those leaks if there's something leaking.
Yeah.
There was no evidence, any noise, and then we shut his line off going to his house to see if it would depressurize, indicating a leak, and it never did.
There's nothing to worry about.
Well, I mean, yeah, if the water's not leaking, it's gotta just be groundwater coming
Yeah.
up, I mean, whether that's spring or, just murky area down there and the groundwater comes up, I don't know, but there was no evidence any town leaking, and there was no chlorine in the water, like we pulled a chlorine test of it as well on, I think 3 of those down there where Brad was doing that sidewalk, and none of them had chlorine in them, which the
Okay.
town water has chlorine in it, so.
Well, Sandy's not sending me any gigantic water bills, so.
That's good. I thought Cash came down and put that valve in, didn't he put
He
the lead valve?
fixed one thing, but I can't remember.
I thought the other guy did the valve on the water heater.
Well, that could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cash did the house
I
valve.
was saying,
You're right.
I thought he did, but.
You're right. You're right. But I'm all fixed now, so.
It's working, so that's good. But, yeah, that's what I feel they are, Mike. If there's ever one in suspicion, we do the same thing. We could chlorine test it, pump it out, you know, but I don't know, it is odd on some of them, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Anything else, Justin?
That's all I have, so if we can get the slack and, we'll do the valve starting next month.
I'll get that, I can probably get it here well, I don't know, it's pretty muddy. How soon do you want it?
Whenever, I mean, cause it's been that way since we did the last load.
I
so-
might wait till it dries out just a little bit.
There
And we
is a little
won't
mud
tear,
down there.
won't tear the road up back there.
Sounds good. Okay, code enforcer?
I sent out 14 certified letters, including 324 Campbell Street. The McDonald house is vacant now. There's a truck that's non-operable, just sitting there. So I sent a letter on that. 123 Michigan Avenue, the fence is a real issue. He's remodeled the inside of the house again, and he's planted shrubbery out front and everything. But every gust of wind, the fence ends up in the alley. And what he's done is he's went in and he's put posts, landscaping posts, all around on the inside, and is holding it up, and it's gonna come down again. So I sent him a message about that. 219 Michigan Avenue, there's a car out of date, the tags are out of date, it's non-movable, it doesn't run, I sent them a message. 103 Michigan Avenue, the truck is non-movable and the trash on the extra lot. Also explained to him that, the alleyways, where you live on the alley, you are to keep the brush out of the alley. And that is in our ordinances. I've had no golf cart inspections. 1056 US Highway 6. Vehicles, trash, operating a business out of there. The health department, he told me again Monday that he's working on it. I called the county building department, and put a bug in their ear, so we'll see how that goes there. 422 South Bridge Street, the horse trailer, I gave her a warning. 218 South Bridge Street, I contacted the building department and the health department again. I don't understand the house, the junk cars, the trash, the dog on the chain. There's a pit bull on a chain, on a very short chain, and it barks continuously. Also, he ran new water lines and new sewage lines, and he ran some power lines underground to that house. For what purpose, I have no idea. But they did that in the middle of the rain. 214 South Bridge Street, I sent him a letter about parking on the sidewalk, and I mentioned it being a bus stop area that we needed to keep the vehicles out of the road. 108 Tip Top, a camper used for storage, and all the junk needs to go away. 103 Depot Street, trash, excessive noise complaints. I just told him that it needs to be hauled off and the noise needs to go away. Also, the old auction house, he's beginning to bring the cars back in, so I let him know that it was a junkyard again, and I would be fining daily. 1138 US Highway 6, they have junk vehicles that are non-operable. I let them know that. 205 Maple Street, trash. And that's it.
Oh, you've been busy. Is this the first time that we've said anything about the horse trailer?
No, I gave her a courtesy letter. This is the first time she's gotten a fine letter.
I see, okay.
So we'll see if she signs for the certified.
Okay. Good job, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Sean, are you guys aware of that pole barn that she's talking about on, what was the address of that pole barn? RJ's.
Oh, his neighbors, yeah, he knows, across from the water tower. Is that what you're talking about?
On the corner there.
Yeah.
where the-
Rouse old place?
Rob's old place.
1056,
Yeah.
6.
That pole barn is stacked floor to ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
Are you guys aware of that?
Oh, yeah.
In case you have a fire.
So the last time I did a job for Frank, I don't know, 2 years ago, and we just happened to be shooting the shit a little bit, sorry. And I mentioned to him that the place was a mess, and that was the last time it got semi-cleaned up. So, they don't care, but
Yeah.
Frank
I sent him to
fixed
Frank.
it, yeah. He's the one that fixed it for me last time, cause I kinda went off a little bit, like, I'm tired of,
Well,
Yeah.
last
Cleaning
year I
up.
had a discussion with him, and he came in and he got him to haul a bunch of stuff out and got it halfway decent, they got rid of the junk vehicles that weren't running. And then now it's back, but I'm going through the health department, I'm trying to get it shut out.
they do bait
Totally.
cleanups is what they do.
Yeah, so they're
And he just-
operating a business out
And he
there.
just brings home all the stuff that he thinks is worth something
Yeah.
to resell.
Don't you love the woman standing in the deer stand in the back?
Well, that scared
Yeah.
the Jesus out of my wife one night.
I
She
bet.
went for a walk to Albright's this spring and she, oh, yeah, she
Yeah.
was scared.
Okay. Well, maintenance isn't here. We'll go on to old business. And how are we doing on the bathrooms?
We're halfway to having our scope of work done. I have all of Justin's stuff. I would like to take Nick's scope of work and Justin's scope of work and combine them. Take this out of this one and this out of this one. And, come up with an all around good.
Specs.
And Nick said he'd have it to me by the meeting tonight, but I'll have to get a hold of him tomorrow. But we're getting closer.
Okay, and you say no one has come up and paid any on the golf carts?
No one has asked for an inspection. Mike got ahold of me on one, but nobody's ever came or hollered.
I think as soon as the weather breaks, we'll get some movement on that.
Do you want me to send letters out to remind people?
That might not hurt, that'd be a good idea.
Okay,
It's on
'cause I
the
know you
web.
all has them.
Yeah,
Do
just to
I?
remind them.
Water bill.
Yeah, and they're on the water bills, but that'd just be another little reminder.
And when is town cleanup again?
May 3rd.
May 3rd, okay.
Okay. Did you check at all for a sign for the pavilion?
No, I haven't.
Okay, just make you a new little note there.
I've been busy with that.
Ordinance?
Write it down.
Okay. Yeah, cleanup is May 3rd. And, did you talk to Mike Tullis about the land?
Did, he's supposed to be sending me a couple names. He does not do it,
Okay,
but he's gonna send me a couple names.
okay. All right. All right. Now, we did get approved for the summer feed this year, correct?
Yes.
Do you have any idea when that starts?
No, she's supposed to send me information when it gets closer.
Okay, all right. All right. Okay.
And I think drop off, she did say it'd be like on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Will you let me know the information so I can give it to,
As soon
My
as
board.
she sends me a flyer, I'll send it to you.
All right. Does anyone have anything else in old business? We'll go on then to new business. We have any new business?
I got something for us, Justin.
Okay.
I got a call the other day. I don't remember who it was from, but of raw sewage in the field right behind this building. Have we ever had that before?
You know, during high flow, it is possible it could have been back there. I know Sandy, is it where you were talking about in the field back there? Is that the spot you're talking about, or is that behind this brick building here?
Back here, yeah.
In that large area that you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go back in there, I didn't walk in there, I just drove by it out there, and I said, you know, I don't think we'd have any flow at the wastewater plant if that was something backing up from the sewer main, and the sewer main is on the other side of the tracks of
Yeah.
that field.
I'm just wondering if that's a low area
Mhm.
due
We
to
had
all
so
the
much
rain.
Oh, no, I thought, that's what I determined. As I
And
said.
it's turned brackish maybe and looks
Yeah.
like sewage.
I mean, I can go back there and certainly, you know, test it, you know, good, you know, stick finger in it, take a big whiff, you know. But I mean, we could take other, you know, tests on it as well if there was any suspicion that it was, but, all those manholes, and you've probably seen them, are all elevated down there.
Yeah.
And the reason they put those on there is because we do have I&I here, you know, so when it rains, I mean, that main and the system there will back up. It doesn't back up to cause any problems that I've ever seen. But, you know, I mean, those pumps down there do 400 gallons a minute, I believe, and it'll struggle to keep up. We do a 24-hour charge recorder down there. It'll max out during those, especially here lately when there's been those big rain events. I mean, it will max out those pumps for, you know, a 12-hour period.
Yeah.
That's how much gets in there, but I've not seen those manholes fill up and overflow, and that's where they have to come out to get there, and there'd have to be a connecting point between, under the tracks, and I don't know if there's drainage in there or something that goes from one side to the other, but I didn't suspect that to be anything with the sewer or the water, because the water crosses way this way, and then the sewer just runs down the north side of the alley, but you can see all the manholes where it goes.
Yeah.
And that piece of property there is high in the middle, like, and, you know, all this rain and everything, it's gotta
Yeah.
run off somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it only makes sense it would pool someplace.
They gotta have a drain down there or something, I would think. I mean, if not, that thing would just constantly be soaking, some type of field tile or something.
Yeah.
Whose field is that? I don't even know whose it is.
Is it still Carter?
No, it's Matthew Engelbrecht.
Do you know anything about it, field tile being down there, anything at the bottom?
I don't know.
Okay.
Steve Hartman might know because he's farmed it for the past 30 years. He might possibly know.
Yeah, I can double check though. I did notice, but again, I haven't noticed any sewage at all, because it would be evident on this side of the tracks towards the alley. If it were overflowing, it wouldn't naturally go that way because the fall goes to the plant, to the lagoons. But when they pushed that brush back in there, I did notice one of the riser rings sitting in the back, but it looked like just an old one that they had pushed back towards the tracks. But I haven't noticed any sewer bubbling up, and there's plenty of flow going to that wastewater plant. I mean, it's not restricted at all.
Yeah.
So it's not backed up or anything.
Yeah, I would worry about if this rain gets done and things kinda dry up, and let's see here what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it'll resolve itself, cause I've never seen water pooling back in there like that, but we've had a lot of water.
You guys have had a lot of rain.
This is
That
very
plant is on
unusual.
It's
Overflow.
coming up at work, flooding in our work.
Yeah,
It's
it's.
backing up so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Mike, you were going to check on gas? Our gas, where we're getting it from Brown and Brown, and you
Right.
were gonna do some checking there, did you do that?
Right now, I'm just working with Sean and we're trying to get the tanks down low enough that we can order that 200 gallons
I see.
and not get the surcharge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm willing to try to keep an eye on them, you know.
Okay.
Right now, I need a little bit of gas used and then I can call
Okay,
them. I didn't do anything other than that.
I'd gladly take some.
Do what?
Actually for free.
And we did.
He was trying to pawn off some of the gas to
Oh,
us, you know,
oh.
we take it.
And we did invest in a trailer for the maintenance department, so he's got a trailer now, he can get brush and things like that to haul off to compost, so we got that taken care of. Did we ever get the ladders?
I'll go this weekend.
Okay, all right. Sounds good.
I did have a question.
Yes.
The material at the wastewater plant,
Mhm.
when you said the trailer, was that still planned to
Get that
spread around the
cleaned out?
ponds and everything?
Yes, but it's gonna end up costing us quite a bit of money to get it done. Brad had said that he would do it, but I know I didn't. And I don't think Brad had any idea how much volume we were talking about. If anybody knows anybody that wants some concrete slabs,
There's a bunch down there.
let us know. 'Cause
Well, Teresa, didn't they say something though last year about the burying, or was that you, Mike, that, I thought they were gonna bury that stuff that was back in the corner, the burn.
That stuff we had talked about, but there again, it's gonna cost money, so.
Gotcha. I was just curious if they, cause the EPA is doing, we've had
Yeah.
like, out of the systems
what
we've
I've been
operated,
worried
we've had
about.
several of these pop-up EPA inspections, not IDEM. That's, you know, the federal EPA out of Ohio. And they're really not, they're more of like a, you know, checking in on every little detail of paperwork and operations for these wastewater systems. I have no idea if Corona, like they did 2 randomly ones. We've got like 70 between the 3 states that we operate in, and they picked 1 in LaFontaine, Indiana, and 1 in Warsaw, Indiana. No rhyme or reason why they were there. So how they're processing these, I don't know, but they were there at each one of those for 4 hours and went back through 5 years of records, and there were 3 of them from the EPA at each facility. So, you know, just something I wanted to point out, because
Right.
I don't know that it's actually any, you know, violation, because it's not really imposing a operational issue on the wastewater plant, but I just
Well,
wanted to bring it up.
that's our burn pile, and it does need to be cleaned up, you know. We're gonna have a bunch more, we're gonna have brush to burn there this year. But it does need some attention.
So,
Yeah.
just curious, so.
Yeah, I've been worried about that too. I think I brought that up last meeting about we're gonna be needing to get back in there and get that cleaned up.
I don't think unless something washes out into the pond, I don't think it'll be an issue. I mean, they might say something. The
Yeah.
IDEM was down there after it was put there, and she didn't really say anything about it. She just asked about it, you know. We said, well, we plan on putting it around the ponds, and she was like, okay.
Okay.
The CPA stuff, though, it is kinda weird. I mean, they've been really hammered down on this stuff, so.
What does some overtime
Okay.
charge
How
per
the
week?
swans back?
See, now, not saying they're not there, but.
Okay, do we have any public concerns? Does anyone have anything they'd like to bring up to talk?
What
Jen?
about that drain crossing 327 by Aldridge's that keeps flooding across there?
What did we decide on that?
Where at?
They're down there by Aldridge's, that drain.
Well, I checked with the state road, that's not their issue, they don't have a drain there. If they had a drain there, they'd come in and fix it, but they don't. So the drain there is from town or from Aldridge's, and that's as far as we got with that. But maybe we're gonna have, Justin research it a little bit more, investigate it or not,
I think, didn't we talk about running the auger through there and then the
something
camera?
like that.
Yeah.
We did.
Cause the road, they won't check into it if it's not theirs.
I don't think we did anything with it after that, cause I think that catch basin on Aldrich's side needs to be cleaned out to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to the
I see
pipe
they
that
got it
goes
down
under the
here.
road, I think. if I
See if
remember
there's
it.
a drain down in there on the other side, but
Cause there's a catch on, I think it's on his side of the road, I thought, on the west side. Isn't there a catch basin over there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that's full, I mean, it's got dirt all the way up to the inlets.
Ooh.
I'm not too sure that that's not a structure that Aldridge has put in.
I think it is, it looked homemade, or
Yeah,
the old culvert pipe or something with a grate on top, you know?
yeah.
So would that be their problem then?
I don't know, they kept saying, didn't Brad go down there and, with a skid loader and take like a foot out of?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brad tried to find something on the east side of the road. He never could find anything.
I think what we were gonna try to do from memory is dig down that, or back out that catch basin, and then find the line that goes to the east.
See where,
And then, auger it, try to locate it, or shove the camera in there,
right.
and see if we can find anything, but we didn't ever do anything with it.
Well, when this weather gets straightened up a little bit, maybe that's something we need to get on and get that addressed.
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
can even get through it, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
you may not be
yeah.
able to,
Could
yeah.
just all be collapsed crap under the road, you know, and just
Yeah.
nothing. Cause it floods on Christian's side of the road,
Yeah.
and just doesn't drain anywhere.
no, it's like we started having problems when they did all that digging over there years back.
Yeah,
Well, something probably collapsed.
well, I bet, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we have a couple of, ordinances here we got to get done,
I got one more new business.
all right.
I think I've already brought this up to you guys, but the mower guy that does the park
Yeah.
and the fire station is interested in mowing over here too. And I can't remember what we said, but anyhow, he said that he would do the rest of the mowing except for Heenan Street for $80. So that would be $80 in addition to what he charges for the park and the fire station.
I wonder how much it costs us to have John do it.
The only reason I'm presenting that, I'm not recommending it, the only reason I'm presenting it is because he sent it to me, so.
Does that include the railroad bank?
Yeah, everything on this side of the railroad, the bank, town hall, East Street, but he just doesn't want to do Heenan.
Is
Oh.
it $80 more a mow? Each time he mows, or?
I don't have
No,
any
John
idea
only
what
mows
she
about once
said.
a month, so it's hard to get him to do it.
Lori and Janet mow it most of the time anyways.
Yeah, we most time do it.
I think we'll take that under advisement, we'll do a little studying and
All right.
see here which would be the most cost efficient. Okay. All right, we have this, dog ordinance that we introduced last month. And we got it revised here, or not really revised, but this is the night that we can, go on ahead. And, okay. Okay, here, where did he put this here? Okay.
You find it?
Yeah. All right. I'll make a motion that we pass on the second and third reading and adopt this tonight.
I
And this-
second it.
This is ordinance, number 2025-1, and it's the dog ordinance, and it's an ordinance regarding vicious and dangerous dogs, establishing procedures for enforcements and penalties. So, okay. I think that's all we have to do now, except just,
Janet, have you seen this one?
Yes,
You're on board with it?
yes.
Okay.
So, we got a motion here to second it, so we'll vote on it. All those in favor,
Alright.
say
Aye.
aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, we have agreed and, made a motion to adopt this ordinance number 2025-1 on our animal ordinance. Sign it? Okay, got it right here.
Will you
Deb?
get that put on the website, Sandy, please? Thank you.
I guess I'm on the right line. I don't think you were though.
Probably not. There we
It might
go.
be on the other page, Teresa, one of the names.
What's that?
No, it's not on here.
I don't see it, do you? Just sign under marks there, or in between us, or whatever, there'd be fine, yeah, just put it up there at the top.
Yeah, on top.
Okay, then we have this, ordinance, a nuisance ordinance that we'd like to get, we revised it, right?
We amended it.
Amended it, we amended this, and it's an ordinance amending number 2005-8 regarding ordinance prohibiting public nuisances and providing for abate procedure and penalties. And this is our, I believe it's one that's in here about parking in alleys and all
Yes.
that, isn't it? Parking in
Yes.
alleys, and it's got all of our
And
noise ordinances and all this kind of stuff all in this one, so.
I don't know, this might, before we voted on this, might be a chance to revise some more things. Janet, now, wants to get here with me, there's things that you might wanna add
On what?
for nuisance.
What's this one?
There's, yeah, this is my copy.
Oh, okay.
There's things you might wanna add, like dumpsters, there's all kinds of things you could add. All I added was the no parking in the alleys.
Well, let's see here, what all we got here. We've got, weeds, accumulation of rubbish, trash, refuse, junk, and other abandoned materials, metals, lumber, and other things. So that pretty well covers it, doesn't it?
Those are the things you could add to it. People having, personal, private property, having dumpsters sitting along the streets, things, there's all kinds of things you could add to, wouldn't be able to do, so I'm just bringing that up, so.
Well,
Or we can always revise it again later.
yeah, why don't we do that so we can get it passed and, I make a motion that we go ahead and, we've had this amended, our
Second.
nuisance ordinance, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed? Okay, we've made a motion to carry, to accept the nuisance ordinance.
You have to give it a new number.
Should be signed.
2025-2. Okay,
Lori, the dumpsters could actually go under other.
We need to sign that, Teresa.
oh, this one? Yeah, there it is, I didn't even see it. Okay, the ninth
That's the
day
second reading or
of
first reading?
April.
She did, well, let's see, Teresa,
Yeah,
put in there, or make a motion to accept first reading and decline secretary when we adopt it.
on this one?
And you have to,
Because we're not gonna have a second reading. We're just gonna adopt it tonight. Here's it.
Okay. Okay, there you go. And we are going to have to, decide on someplace we wanna put this big old heavy sign. That's a replica of the old ones that used to be here, way back when the town was first founded. That's what the sign, they had them at each intersection of town. And over the years, of course, many years ago, they all disappeared. So, my son brought them home on the airplane from Texas.
Nice.
You don't think it would look good on the pavilion?
Well, they wanted to put a sign up out there that shows that Nucor
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, okay.
had donated that.
I bet on top of the building here would be nice.
I would kinda think it would too, up here on this flat part. We get someone brave enough to get up there. Not me
That
either.
sign's heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy.
If you show me where you want it, I'll get John to put it up.
Okay,
Is he gonna get the picnic tables back out?
as soon as the rain stops. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now I believe that we have Anton yet. Is this what we have yet tonight?
Anton, yes.
Okay.
Put everything together in a packet for you, so it might be a
Good.
little easier to write through, 20 attachments, but, I just, again, Anton King with DeKalb County Economic Development, wanted to just provide an update for you on a number of things, both Corona specific and also, some countywide opportunities that you might be able to tap into, on some opportunities, and, so just wanted to cover those things for you, but, so, some of the attachments I have in front of you in that packet includes, so it's the fee-for-service agreement for 2025, which remains the same as 2024 in language and cost, everything. We've also included an annual report activity outline for you that highlights a number of 2024 economic development activity across DeKalb County. And I realize it's gonna be hard to read, but I have a smaller, I live in spreadsheets. I have a smaller pipeline summary for you of just some of the projects that we're tracking for Corona, that we've been working on, and just showcasing some of that activity. So, to start, and just to give you an update on 2024, altogether, we had a record year from an investment standpoint, and primarily the big factor of that was the Walmart distribution project that expanded in the Garrett area. But we finished the year with just north of $750 million of new private investment across 35 different projects, and added $5.7 million in new payroll with new jobs created on that. And as a county, we were able to rank tied for 8th as a top micropolitan in the United States, and that means you're a county or a city that has a population less than 50,000 people. So we're competing with the Tiffin, Ohio's of the world and those types of areas. But that gives us 4 out of the last 5 years that we've seen recognition from a national landscape. So just wanted to update you on that. We've also started a robust business retention and expansion program where we go out, specifically target existing business and industry across the county and meet with them, try to meet with them twice a year to check in and see how things are going, see what issues they may have, employment, is it utilities, is there a potential expansion, those types of things. So from a big picture standpoint across our service territory, those are some of the things we're doing. Things that are countywide initiatives that will be able to potentially help Corona that we have coming up here is so DeKalb County and all of DeKalb County recently was a recipient of a $500,000 brownfield countywide assessment grant. And so we have 4 years to utilize those funds. And so with that, if there are any sites that are in Corona or Corona adjacent, and this goes again across DeKalb County, that you believe could have potential contamination on the site, or if it was, you know, an old repair shop or an old gas station, anything along those lines, and if you would like our consultants to come and just give it a phase 1 assessment, we have dollars to do that on any of the brownfield sites or potential brownfield sites. And it really starts by doing they call it a window. It's like a window drive-through of where we're making a list of all these potential sites across DeKalb County that may fit that criteria, and then they're going to go by and kind of build that list off of that. So I say that to you, and if you have any sites, and the only thing that I guess we're going to need help with initially is if it's a privately owned property, is just getting permission to have access to the property for those folks. So that's, some cases that may be welcomed, other cases not so much. But if someone is interested in trying to sell their property potentially, then obviously they want to do that. So that's the countywide, or the DeKalb County countywide brownfield assessment grant program across DeKalb County. We've also continue working on the broadband initiative that we have. So a number of broadband fiber companies continue to deploy their fiber throughout DeKalb County, and are pursuing funds for that to connect. Really, they're trying to build fiber redundancy between different communities, and that way there's multiple providers, and being able to have internet across the gamut there. I wanted to make you aware of a few opportunities again that you may be able to tap into. The Visitors Bureau in DeKalb County now has access to grant, basically a grant database. And so if there's any projects that the town may be working on that you're not quite sure if there's potentially funding out there, just give me a shout and I can go look them up for you. So I know Mike's done a good job about, Mike and I keep in regular communication, but if that's a database out there that's available, and so we can go in and look to see if there's any grants that might meet that criteria. Also a reminder that the Visitors Bureau has granting opportunities for events. Their goal is to push, obviously, tourism numbers, but if you would have any type of events going on this summer, or anything that you might want some marketing dollars for, or a sign or anything like that, that's something you can tap into as well. So again, if you have something you're thinking about, just give me a shout on that and I can get you connected where that needs to be. And also the United Way Day of Caring, that'll be coming up this summer, and so if there's any projects, I know they have some stipulations on what they can or can't do, but if there's anything for the town, like a park cleanup or anything like that, might be something worthwhile to look into, but can get you with that. So that was just some more broad opportunities that could be beneficial to the town of Corona for you. As far as business development activity in Corona, our one project that we've been working with is the Weldit project here, former Hillbilly Tire property. I've been working with that gentleman, trying to get him up and running and kind of navigating starting the business process and that type of thing. So I've been working with him on that. Again, we did have a discussion with NIPSCO on the feasibility of gas long term, and the feedback on that was we need a large gas user for that to, I guess, in their eyes, warrant substantial investment to that way.
Right.
But we're able to have that conversation there. Also just tracking, available land, for development with it, whether it's in Corona proper or outside in the adjoining area, so, you know, Mike and I have been, talking back and forth on potential opportunities there. And also included in that, we have two, I guess, active sites in our inventory that, both of these aren't Corona proper, but they do have a Corona address of just sites that are openly on the market. They're both rural in nature, if you will, for the most part. But two sites that we have, being a County Road 28 land, 1471 County Road 28, that's 58 acres, and then we have the 1956 US 6 property that's 22.6 acres. So both of those properties are listed on the market. As far as I think zoning wise, they're both going to be zoned residential or agriculture primarily, but we do have those active on our database. If any projects kind of meet that criteria. So also included in your packet for you, there's a last page. It's kind of thick. I tried to double side copy, so so much paper. But if you're working on any, what it is an economic overview for the town of Corona, and it gives you some really good data points as far as demographic, economic information, educational attainment, those types of things. So again, if you're working on some grants or looking for some research points that a lot of those grants will ask for, we have access to a lot of that information. So I just want to make you aware that, you know, this is a kind of a sample of some of the data that we have access to that can help you in that process. And just for reference for you on that, that data we pulled basically through reference points. We picked Corona Town proper, we picked DeKalb County, and then Northeast Indiana as the full region, just for some comparison purposes for you as well. So wanted to go over that. Again, let's see what I haven't covered yet. Talked about the brownfield piece. Yeah, kind of working on discovering and sharing some grant opportunities, supporting, you know, if it's the community crossings grant, potentially for some fire department equipment and overall community restoration. Working on that Weldit project, and again continuing you know, regular communication with both Mike and then Mike Tullis, who's our the board representative on the DeKalb County Economic Development Partnership. So that's kind of an overview of the activity of late, if you will. But then like I said, also included was the 2025 agreement for your consideration. Again, that remains the same as last year. Overall, in 2025, kind of trending forward, you know, there's a lot of economic fluctuation on a national scale per se, but locally we are seeing just a continued steady flow of activity really across the county. One of the big things that we're watching from the state legislative standpoint is, you know, this Senate Bill 1 with the personal property tax and how that's going to affect local governing units as far as revenues go for cities and towns. We're not really sure how that's going to play out yet, but something we're trying to keep abreast to. And once we do get any final answers on that, we'll share that news out with the corresponding communities. But other than that, didn't want to take a lot of your time, but just wanted to share with what's going on, and happy to answer any questions you may have.
We need to sign this agreement, or
Yeah.
You need to sign it. You need to sign it.
just me?
In there somewhere.
Yeah, just you.
Right there it is.
We need to vote on it.
We need to vote on this. Okay, I'd make a motion that we accept the agreement for services from Anton for the coming year here of 25. All those in favor? or someone will second it?
I'll second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, it has been accepted to go with them this year. There's that.
Where does that money go, Anton? Is that
As far as money.
operation money or?
Correct. So, with our, we have, really two pots of money that we pull from, and, about, I would say about 70% of that is from our fee-for-service agreements, and then 30% of that is through, private investors, in, whether that's, you know, the Steel Dynamics, Nucor's type, investors, so, well, yeah, so for us, it's an operational fund that we, tap into, year over year, continual, staffing,
Yeah.
software programs, those types of things, so. Yep.
Okay, do we have anything else this evening? Did we decide on some money for the, for that guy that you had over here?
The
Do what?
community,
The
No, I'm working on that.
Okay,
We need to try, for the best I could get out of him was we need to try to get it submitted by June the 1st. That way they have a whole month to look at it, and if we get ours in one of the first ones, he said it's always a good idea to get it in so they have a whole month to look at your bid. So, April and May, I'm gonna work pretty hard on it, and
okay, all right,
I'll keep in touch with you guys on what I'm doing. I know one thing that we're gonna, according to him, that we're gonna wanna do is try to come up with more than, $10,000 as a match. Because he said that will hurt us if it's too small a match. So that's one thing we need to look at.
we're just a small fish in the pond over here. What?
the reviews,
Yeah, the claims,
yes. Out of the general fund, we spent $42,468.33. Water fund, $2,630. Sewer, $3,966. Payroll, $13,004.80. Initial that, please.
What am I doing?
that's our claims for the month.
Oh,
You need to
Sign.
initial it.
Initial, sign,
initial.
either one.
Where are they building next to the Walmart, BC? Where they just tore down that house and barn on 8?
Old metal shop.
Yeah, that's gonna be, Service Steel Framing in, so they've outgrown their location in Butler. So they're investing in a new facility in Gary, Western Park.
Are they gonna do anything with the Waterloo exit? Where they tore down
The
The
castle,
old Kagan's.
where the castle's going.
Yeah, that's, my understanding, the plan is for that to, the.
Gallup.
Gallup, yeah, I was trying to think of the name of the company, yeah. That's still what is planned there, just timing just depends on.
He still hasn't finished Kendall.
Yeah, timing just depends on.
He doesn't use banks.
Well, then they just get shut down or get hit for some prostitution or something.
No, just
Everything else.
runoff issues. He's got an identifying thing.
We'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting.
Yeah.
Is he on the one all the way up on 22?
The big castle.
Middlebury?
Yeah, that's.
He owns that one also?
Turn it off.
He still hasn't, like I said, he still hasn't finished Kendall. He's still got a whole restaurant to put in yet, and I think they just finished, I think they just opened the last of the hotel.
Wow.
It's a treat.
I tell myself all day.